Hey YouTube, how are you doing out there? It's Beard here with Beard Reviews. It is Friday night about 10:30 p.m. and I hope you all are having a fantastic start to your weekend. And Labor Day weekend, I believe? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Fantastic start to your Labor Day weekend for those of you who are lucky enough to have Mondays off. So tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's really cool, at least in my opinion, and that is the Kryptonite clone from VaporTech USA. This is a clone of the original Kryptonite mod, but in copper. Now I know there's been some discussions, and I've read a couple of things where people said there was a copper edition that came out of the Philippines, because the original is a Philippine mod. But the only videos I've been able to find on YouTube was from Cloud Chasers Inc. Call out and shout out and thumbs up to those guys over there. Great review on the original Kryptonite, which was brass and stainless steel. This is a copper and stainless steel. I'm assuming because it has limited edition on there, I don't think China would just engrave limited edition on something, but you know what? They've done crazier stuff than that. So let's go ahead and take a vape on it using the Asmodus RDA on here with a 5-wrap 22 gauge parallel build coming out to 0.08 ohms. Let's take a rip here. Yeah, this thing can really get down. Of course, it all has to do with everything we all know about airflow, your build, the RDA, the battery you're using, and of course the mod. Great thing about this mod is this mod weighs over a pound, and for me, a mod that is that heavy duty and weighs that much better be able to put out as well, which this one does not disappoint. So with that, we're going to go ahead and do some zoomy on this bad boy. I'm going to tear it down for you real quick. We're going to get into it, show you what some of the special things about this thing that make it different than a lot of other devices out there. And then we'll get done, put it back together, vape on it, and I'll give you my ups and downs on this mod, and I'll let you guys get out of here for your Labor Day weekend. So with that, let's get to it. Alright guys, so here we are down in zoomy mode. Let's go ahead and tear this bad boy down. Let's take the Asmodus off here first. Bam. First thing you'll see right here is the top cap. It has a nice kind of cross pattern kind of X. I know I read on Reddit someone was mentioning about like kind of a Celtic type X pattern. Yeah, I guess maybe so, but I guess maybe that could be used for venting or for ventilation or airflow, I guess you could call it, if somebody was going to use some type of clearo or something like that. But for me, that doesn't really matter. To me, it's more of like the art of the way it looks. It is really nice. So you can see your silver-plated 510 pin right there. Let's go ahead and screw this bad boy off. Here's your top cap. Has some really nice kind of engravings here where they carved out of obviously the whole piece of copper they used. Really nice. I gotta say the machining on this mod is totally thumbs up. At least in my opinion, they did a really good job trying to do on replicating this thing. Threading on this, again, really great quality. Just to show you here how it screws on. If I can get the threads to catch here. I mean, the threads are just, they're you know, the typical copper. They're not the easiest, but they are really good for copper threading. Here you can see the 510 contact on the top end. It's a really nice, that's an 8mm contact here on the top. It is spring loaded, so when you actually screw in your 510 piece or your RDA or your atomizer, whatever you're using, this pin will push out. Even though it has a spring in there, it still moves a little bit. As you can see, it kind of came out a little bit there by about a millimeter and a half. I think the spring in here actually works as more of like a pressure type of situation where it basically keeps pressure on the contact at all times, so that way it doesn't spin and turn and everything inside of this housing. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart for you real quick. We'll get this Delrin out and I'll show you the inside here. Just unscrew that Delrin. Everything on this mod is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So standard, here's your Delrin with the two little holes. And as you can see here, you can see your contact there. Has a really nice beefy spring. I gotta say, for a top cap spring-loaded 510, even if it is more of like a tension 510 spring, I have had mechanical mods that have had springs less heavy duty than this. So pretty rock solid on that part. Your contact here, and as you can see, that Delrin kind of pops out as well. Well, sometimes it does, but it can fall out. There you go. There's your internal Delrin to keep the copper insulated on the top end. And here's your contact. Really nice, beefy, silver-plated copper contact. Really nice and solid. You can see that bad boy is solid. And then there's your 510. Let's go ahead and slap that. Oops. Sorry about that, folks. Slap this bad boy back together. Put the pin in first. And you can see that thing is really hefty. Here's your spring. And then you just get your Delrin. Make sure you have that little insert in there going in that way, so that way it holds the mechanism together. Start your threading. Always remember to be very careful with your Delrin threading because it will cross thread very easily once you get started. Like I'm just using a 1/16 drill bit. Just go ahead and tighten that bad boy down, and there it is. Okay, so there's the top cap. The rest of the mod here comes and breaks down into several pieces. Let me get that drill bit out of here. This is a stainless steel sleeve that's really, really nice. It fits really nice over the copper tube. And other great thing about it is with certain batteries, like with these Sonys that I'm using, it spins. So it gives you something to do with your hands when you're not vaping. So, you know, if for those people that have ADHD like I do, it'll just sit there and you can spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it. And it gives you something to tinker with. But for me, it makes a really nice look instead of just having, say, just this, you know, bare copper tube, which so many devices have now. So this is really just more of like an ornamental ring. It does help with adjusting as well, but we'll talk about that when we put it back together. Here's your copper, and this is where it comes kind of adjustable, kind of telescopic style. This piece does screw in and does screw out inside of this housing here. So this is threaded into that. And this is another way you can, you know, get rid of your battery rattle if you're running shorter batteries. Like I said, the Sonys do have a tendency to run a little short versus like the MNKs and things like that. So you typically have to push this or screw this all the way down in to get it to a nice flush, you know, flush fit. So, and there's a nice, I'd say probably 3/4 of an inch of play on this thing. So there's a little bit of telescopability as far as that goes. Nice tube. As you can see, it's all one solid piece of copper, really nice in there. And like again, threading, really, really done well. Here's my Sony 26650. As we talk about, and you know, all reviewers say it, and all the show hosts say it, and everybody says it. Make sure you're using the right batteries with the builds you're using, people. It's very, very important, especially in this day and age after what happened in Texas. Make sure you have your numbers either cycled in and out, or a number, or a batch, or however you want to do it that works for you, so you keep your batteries rotated properly. Very, very important. As you see, I have a number 4 in there. This is obviously my 4th batch of number 4. I have 2 batteries for each number. And whenever I buy batteries, I always buy 2. So I'll create a new number, and then I'll cycle out one of the older numbers. I have number 3 through number 9 right now. So my number 1, number 2, and number 1 and number 2, which is 4 batteries, those 4 batteries got cycled out and put into the variable wattage, variable voltage type stack, so that way I don't use them in the sub-ohm area anymore. So here's number 1 of number 4 set. Here's this really nice copper ring here. Again, this helps this mod do a little bit of telescoping, excuse me. Again, really nice threading, super, super nice. Has these really nice little engravings here. Like I said, China did a phenomenal job on cloning this mod. This ring is stainless steel. It threads into this copper ring. Now, I have not been able to remove this. I do not know if these two pieces come apart, but I don't really know why I'd ever need them to. But as far as I know, this is kind of press fit in there, I think, because I have not been able to unscrew it, but I'm not going to put a pair of channel locks on there to find out. Nonetheless, there's venting right there on the middle of the mod. So basically, top end, middle of the mod, you have some really nice venting there. There's several rings that run around. I believe there's 9 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 8. 8 vent holes right there. And again, very well, nicely machine threading on both ends there. And then here is your bottom piece, which is your engraved piece of the mod. It has kind of a Philippine type star there with 3 engraved stars, which is really nice. And these engravings are really nice and deep into the copper. And then here is the Kryptonite logo. It says Kryptonite in copper. Let me see if I can adjust this lighting for you guys real quick and give you a better idea of what's going on here. It says Kryptonite in copper, and it has a really nice K engraved in here, kind of an old Celtic type style K, it looks like, at least to me. And then again, it has a nice little, in cursive engraving on that. And then these two just come apart here. Again, threading is excellent. And then here's your button. Let's go through this pretty quick here. The button is recessed. It says limited edition, and then there's my serial number, which is 275. And this engraving I haven't really been able to figure out. To me, it looks kind of like a guy who has a head on fire. I haven't really been able to make out that engraving, but nonetheless, it is a nice engraving. And again, there's your recessed button. Button's pretty stiff. Again, this mod weighs a lot. So it's good that it has a nice heavy-duty spring in there. And then there's your silver-plated copper contact in there. Same kind of situation going on here as in the top cap. Go ahead and you push your button in, and I just use my finger to loosen up the contact. Sorry, I went off screen there. Once you get that out a little bit, you can usually unscrew it. Okay, here we go. So here's your contact right here. Like I said, silver plated copper. Don't really enjoy the hole there. I know the original does not have that, but for some reason China did that. I'm assuming they did that for venting, so it has bottom venting. I mean, I don't really understand why they did that, but nonetheless, there it is, because the mod has venting in other places. So there's that. Sorry about that. My camera just went off for some reason. That's weird. Anyways, nonetheless, here's the bottom mechanism. Pin just comes out, and as you can see, you have a complete copper pin here. There it is, and it has this really super heavy duty spring here, and I gotta tell you guys, the spring is tight. For those of you who had the Hades when it first came out, before they started putting those softer springs in there, or the magnets, this spring will give the Hades spring a run for its money. Very tight spring, but it does give it a nice amount of pressure and a really nice throw when you use it. It's not too hard, because I mean, literally you only have to push it like that. I mean, maybe 1 millimeter throw on this thing when you actually have it all pieced together. So let's go ahead and put this back together. And you can remove the Delrin. There's just really no need to do it to get this button apart. But I mean, if you were going to do a really good cleaning, it might be a good idea to, I just tighten that too tight. It might be a good thing to take the Delrin out. You know, if you're going to do a really deep cleaning on it, you can loosen that up a little bit. I have not had any problems with this this pin coming loose. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe something to do with the Delrin, but that pin does not loosen up on me. So there you go. Now you can see it's working. And like I said, the throw is very minimal. I mean, look at this. And as you can see, it is recessed inside that piece. It's about a millimeter and a half recessed inside there at the present tightness that I have it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Got the bottom pipe, tube, your center decorative ring with venting. You have your telescopic piece of copper tube here. Again, the stainless steel beauty ring kind of slides over, and then you have your top cap. So there she is, all put back together. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and get back up top, and we'll talk about the ups and downs on it, vape on it, and I'll let you guys get out of here. Alright guys, so we're back. One thing I did not talk about, I don't think, unless maybe I forgot, you know, when you screw in your Addy, it is self-adjusting. Just in case I didn't mention that. I know I mentioned that a spring, but that when you screw in your Addy, that pin does move, and that spring basically holds it tension. So it's not like the spring is used for connectivity, it's just used to hold tension when you're putting the mod back together. So just thought I'd throw that in there. So overall, guys and gals, this mod to me has kind of a special place in my heart because this thing helped me get back to a lot of my mechanicals. Regulated vaping is kind of the way things are going, and for me as well. SX350s are pretty much my exclusive all-day vapes, and it's really hard to get away from that. The Kryptonite mod did help me do that, and one reason is because when I got this thing from VaporTech USA, it came set up for me to be able to screw my Addy on and plow away, and that's one of the best things about it. Don't have to worry about the hot spring issues. Don't have to worry about the spring in the 510 decompressing or getting hot. Don't have to worry about hot button issues. Don't have to worry about your button overheating because the way this thing is built and the way the contacts and the springs are laid out, everything has the expansibility. So basically, the heat from your atomizer, this top cap is freaking thick. It's going to take a lot to heat that up. Second thing is the electricity and the heat dispensement, or excuse me, the heat basically dispenses between the copper and the stainless steel, so it doesn't transfer because it is a component pieced mod. And then on your button, it's a copper pin, and the heat just does not build up. The electricity is constantly moving throughout, or the voltage is constantly moving throughout the mod, and the button not being stainless steel, it doesn't make it like a breaking point or basically like a stopping point where it just gives you a hot button issue. So here she is. Let's take a vape on her and I'll give you guys my ups and downs and let you guys get out of here. Oh, she's not hitting. Uh-oh. I think I tightened that 510 down too much. Anyway, so ups and downs, guys, as I'm putting this back together. Overall, I give this thing a huge plus. And here's the ups of the reason I give that. It comes built for you to vape. Whether you're building and going to vape it at a 2 ohm, or if you're going to build it and vape it at a 0.08 like I do. Don't have any of the typical issues you have with a lot of these clones / authentic mods that are made for sub-ohming, but not so much for the super sub-ohming. You start having those problems with your hot spots, your hot buttons, and your springs basically collapsing because they can't handle the heat or the amperage of the voltage from the mod of what it needs to do to perform the way you want it to perform. So definitely thumbs up on that. One of the thumbs down, I gotta say though, is this battery rattle. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but for some reason with these older Sony 26650 batteries that I have, it does have a tendency to rattle a little bit. MNKs, which I don't really use MNKs on anything lower than like a 0.4, they fit and they don't rattle. A couple of the clone Sony batteries that I have that I got off eBay, watch eBay, boys and girls, when you're buying batteries, fit perfectly, but they're like literally 2 millimeters taller than my other Sonys. And then some of my 18650s fit perfectly in this thing, and this thing does come with an adapter sleeve, so you can drop an 18650 in there and use an 1860 you want. So a lot of great things about this mod. The rattle just drives me nuts, but I am able to kind of put that aside because of how nicely this thing hits. I was going to do a voltage drop for you guys today, but unfortunately I cannot find my freaking 510 voltmeter, so I'm out on that. But anyways, guys and gals, I hope you enjoyed the review on this. If you do see something you like, please go check them out on VaporTech USA. It's a really nice mod, really nice pickup. I got this for around $55 plus $2 shipping, and I think it came around $57 shipped. So if you like this mod, you want to check it out, go check it out on VaporTech USA. If you liked the video, please like it. If you would like to watch some more of my videos, please subscribe. And again, guys, have a great afternoon. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace. Oh my gosh, guys and gals, I'm a dumbass. I didn't even I didn't even fix it to show you that it was working at the end of the video. So anyways, here we go. It still works.